Ito. Sabi ni Cesar, anong masasabi niyo sa pahayag ni Harry Roque na nagsumbong daw yung mga retired generals kay PBBM na kinausap ni FPRD about? Okay, wait. That's not the story that I heard. I have my own sources. And even if I have sources, kung napapansin niyo, hindi ako naglalabas ng ganyang balita kasi kakailanganin mong isubstantiate yan. However, since this is to clarify, okay, from my own sources, the story goes this way. I'm not saying it's true or not, ha? Ulitin ko. Not saying it's true or not, but this is how the story went. The one that I heard from my own sources. Okay? And huwag niyo sasabihin na wala akong sources sa military. Tigil-tigilan niyo ako, ha? Okay. Some officers went to see the former president. May mga hinaing sila at meron silang mga guarantees of support. And that's it. However, merong mga ilan doon na hindi satisfied sa sagot ng dating Pangulo. He did not commit. Okay? So, nagsumbong kay PBBM. That's the story that I heard. Okay? Linawin ko lang. It's possible that it is Fox Harry's sources that are more reliable. It is possible that they are mine. I'm not casting any doubt on what former Fox Harry said. Magkaibigan naman kami niyan. But I'm just telling you the story that I heard. Which for me kasi makes more sense because we know that former President Duterte, being a lawyer and former prosecutor, understands the danger that such a conversation could lead to. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Paki-check na lang po yung ating audio. In the meantime, maligayang Pasko sa inyong lahat. Tinatanong ni Bembet kung may pasabog ako. Hindi naman ako nagpapasabog. Analyze tayo ng sitwasyon at kung mayroon po kayo. Dati kasi hindi ako sumasagot ng mga pasabog ng iba, pero ngayon, having studied, finally, napanood ko na, nakaka-catch up na ako dun sa ibang mga sinasabi, so pwede nang tanungin. Yung iba kasi naaral ko na po. So, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. At maligayang Pasko. I hope everybody had a good Christmas at nakapiling ninyo ang inyong mga mahal sa buhay or at least nakausap over the break, no? At saka sana po you got as much as you possibly could have wanted for Christmas. Maganda po ang ating ang outlook ko lately. Not because of anything, but because I'm feeling hopeful. Dahil yun naman po talaga ang Pasko, we feel hopeful na hopefully may mga pagbabago or may mga matatauhan. Tinatanong ni Tito Nonoy kung at same time pa rin ba ang Carambola. Opo, pero I wasn't in Carambola today. I'm not sure if I'll be there tomorrow. Normally kasi we take a break for a week, pero as of the last few years, hindi po namin ginagawa yon. I had to see my mother off because she's traveling again. So, kaya I had to take care of her until, it's time for her to travel, to get on a plane. So, yun. Hi, kay Sir Francis. Okay. So, maayong gabi, sabi ni Hua Mulan from Davao. Okay, so tinatanong ni Yuris Dakupal, tama ba pag-pronounce ng name mo? Tinatanong niya, our thoughts on impeachment against VP Sara, possibly daw next year. Alright, at this point, it is hypothetical, ha? Normally, we don't do hypotheticals, pero may basis kasi ito dahil sinabi ang nag-BTO ng pinag-uusapan ng impeachment ni VP Inday ay si Congresswoman Franz Castro. Now, which gives it a little bit of weight, di ba? Nasa house siya eh. So, anong thoughts natin dyan? Well, I think it is no accident na kapag bakante ang posisyon ng vice-presidente, ang namimili po ng kapalit ay ang Pangulo. Hindi po yan, walang succession po pagdating sa vice president. Ibig sabihin, walang automatic na aakyat sa pwesto kapag nawala ang VP or kapag bakante ang opisina ng vice president. Mamimili ang Pangulo from Congress, from the House, or from the Senate. At alam nyo na kung sino yung possibly forerunner dyan. At i-affirm ng Congress and Senate voting separately. So affirmation na lang ang kailangan. Pero usually madali na lang yon kapag galing naman kasi sa kanila. So hindi po aksidente na ganun po ang consequences nun. So I understand na mayroong nagsasabi, I'm not saying it's true, na mayroong nagsasabi na mayroong gusto daw mag-resign para mag-take over ang House Speaker. So if the President's position is vacant, then the Vice President will go up to the position of President. Yun ang may succession. At yun nga lang po usually ang main na trabaho ng vice-presidente. So, should it happen na mabakante ang OVP first, tapos mag-resign ng presidente, we will end up with a president who was not elected on a national scale. Okay? So, naintindihan nyo? So, hypothetical. Take note, underscore. Hypothetically, kung ang ating vice-presidente ay mag-resign or ma-impeach, basta mabakante ang office of the vice president, the president chooses who will occupy the position for the remainder of the term. So, let's say, hypothetically, si Speaker Romualdez yon. So, si Speaker Romualdez could be appointed vice president if after that ay mag-resign ang Pangulo, then the vice president will assume the presidency. And therefore, if it is the speaker, you will have a person elected at a district level pero aangat dun sa posisyon na sa pinakamataas na posisyon sa bansa. So yun po ang thoughts natin dyan, and kumbaga, for me, it's not a good situation to be in. Sabi ni Critical Bash, ano naman ang grounds para ma-impeach si Ma'am Sara? Tsaka oras na ginawa nila yan kay Ma'am Sara, mas lalong masisira ang imahe nila sa taong bayan. Yes, I understand that. Pero para sa akin, we have to be realistic. Meaning, kailangan ready tayo in any case. Hindi natin pwede sabihin basta na, di mangyayari yan kasi alam nila na magulo yung sitwasyon, pag ganyan, and so on. No, we cannot assume that. So, kailangan handa tayo. And kayo ba, matutuwa ba kayo sa ganong klaseng sitwasyon? Ako, hindi. Kasi nga, hindi naman binoto yung tao na posibleng umangat dun sa posisyon na yan for that purpose. Sabi ni Sir Francis Cayetano, daming mali-mali sa succession. Gusto gayahin yung kay Richard Nixon, never elected as president or as VP. Si Richard Nixon ba yan o si Gerald Ford? Yeah. Si Nixon was elected president, pero na-impeach siya, di ba? Or nag-resign siya. He was impeached by Congress, pero hindi na umabot ng trial sa Senado, he resigned. Or something like that. Well, or hindi na siya nagpa-impeach pa, nag-resign siya. So dahil nag-resign noon yung vice president, ang naging vice president was, I understand, Gerald Ford. But please correct me kung nagkamali ako ha. And then, nung nag-resign si Nixon, si Gerald Ford ang umangat. So, inaano lang natin. So, we're not saying that this is going to happen. And in fact, we're not saying that it's even possible. Gayon pa man, pinag-uusapan siya. So we may as well give you the legal basis for that. Natanong ni Ma'am Marilu, may ground ba talaga? Madam, paano naman natin masasabi yun? Wala pang complaint. So sa complaint natin, titignan kung mayroon talagang basehan o idadaan nila sa numbers sa Kongreso. Sabi ni Ma'am Cynthia Bondo, baka iba na naman pagkakaintindi ng iba dyan sa presumption na yan. What do you mean? So kaya nga we'll be as clear as possible on this one. So uulitin ko, i-address ko muli yung issue para dun sa mga hindi nakakaintindi. Ang daming nagsasabi na atat daw o nagmamadali daw ang mga DDS o si Inday Sara mismo, si Vice Presidente, na makaupo before 2028. Paaalala ko lang dun sa mga nagsasabi ng ganon na hindi po si Inday Sara ang nag-umpisa ng away na ganito. In fact, ang usapang impeachment ang nauna. Wala namang nagsasabi na wala namang sinasabi si Vice even before. Tahimik nga ang dating Pangulong Duterte bago nag-umpisa ang salitang impeachment. So, hindi po logical na sabihin na nagmamadali ang DDS o si Vice President Inday. Reaction po ito. At kung mayroong nagmamadali, abay sundan ninyo yung thread ng sa impeachment. Kasi kapag impeachment nga, sino ba ang magbe-benefit dyan? Kung sakasakaling ma-impeach ang Vice Presidente, sino sa tingin ninyo ang pinaka magbe-benefit? At ano yung paraan na mas mabilis at mas posibleng mangyari? Hindi yung pagkaatat namin ang issue dito, you're just gaslighting or trying to, trying to muddle up the issue. The fact is, the impeachment issue was mentioned by Congresswoman Franz Castro. And that leads us to believe na kung mayroong nagmamadali dito, ay yung posibleng tao na maa-appoint para mag-occupy ng posisyon ng Vice Presidente. Ito sabi ni Ma'am Anita, sila nga ang namimilit kay VP Inday makipag-tandem sa kanila tapos trinidor nila. Correct. Bakit magmamadali si Vice Inday? She does not have to do anything. In fact, siya nga dyan yung leading candidate for the presidency. But she said no to it and handed it over to President BBM. Tumulong pa siya para manalo. So sinong atat? If she wanted to be president, she could have been president. So that argument is not logical. It is clearly propaganda and clearly intended to muddle the issue. Napansin ko, lalong-lalo na sa Twitter. Pagka wala silang masagot din sa argumento, sasabihin nila, nasa na yung 125 million. Ganun ba? Ano na nangyayari dun sa remainder ng 1.7 billion na traveling expenses ng Kongreso? Baka gusto ninyo sagutin din yan. Kasi yung travel expenses, hindi yan confidential fund. Nililiquidate po yan. So gusto namin malaman, unang-una, bakit hindi yan nagastos ng buo? At pangalawa, saan na napunta ngayon? Sabi ni Glenn, malapit na ang midterm election. Sana magdalawang isip ang mga congressman sa pag-impeach kay VP Inday. Makikita nila ang power ng mga tao united behind the Dutertes. DDS pa rin. Okay, thank you. Pero hindi lang po impeachment ang sinasabi nilang mangyayari. What we're doing here is we're merely addressing the issues na binabanggit. Hindi namin sinasabi na totoo ito or that they will happen. Pero ang titignan natin ay yung mga basihan for the procedures behind it. So ngayon, mayroong din nagsasabi na, merong mga nagsasabing na wow, mali kayo sa 2028. Abay, hindi yata kayo nakikinig. Kailan ba sinabi ni VP Inday na gusto niya magpresidente? Kung gusto niyang magpresidente, itong 2022 dapat niya ginawa. So anong sinasabi mong na wow, mali? gustuhin man namin maging presidente si Inday, hindi namin siya mapipilit because she had said no to it already, at least once before. So yung mga hirit ninyo dyan na, wow, mali, umaasa kayo mananalo si Inday sa 2028, hindi nga namin alam kung tatakbo siya. Kasi nga, she had walked away from one presidency already, from the possibility of one presidency. Ngayon, sasabihin ninyo na, wow, mali kami. Ba, parang marunong kayo magbasa ng isip. Pinag-aaway lang ng mga makakaliwa ang vice at presidente. Talaga? Sure ka dyan? Well, I don't doubt na may ginagawa ang mga makakaliwa. Pero sa tingin nyo, may outside reason kung bakit hindi na nagpapakita si VP Inday sa mga events kung nasaan andun si House Speaker o nandun si Presidente. The last time that she was seen with the President, cold na talaga. So, either sinasabi ninyo na napakalakas ng mga makakaliwa or there's a different reason. Kasi bakit na niya pagbibigyan? Bakit naman susunod si Presidente o si Vice Presidente sa kagustuhan ng mga kaliwa? Sabi ni RG Chell, yung wow, mali, kami nga nabudol sa pag-vote namin. Sabi ni Mount Cabin, mahina na ang NPA, CPP, NDF. Puro ka dyan. So, are they still a force to reckon with? Eh, yun na nga yung naging issue kung kaya't nagtatanong tayo, bakit nag-general amnesty pa? Yeah. Kung spent force na yung CPP, NPA, NDF, ano yung purpose ng general amnesty? Ang tingin natin dyan, it is political. Ang political nature ng pagbibigay ng amnesty, kasi hindi naman yata rocket science na i-conclude natin na yung mga makakaliwa ang gumagawa ng mga hindi pwedeng ipakita neither ni House Speaker o ni Pangulo. Halimbawa, yung pagbabanggit ng impeachment or possible pag-profile. Pangalawa, yung pagki-question ng CF. Pangatlo, yung pagki-question tungkol sa GSIS contributions na sila naman ang nawawaw mali dun sa tungkol sa Transco. Tama ba? Basta yung logistics company na allegedly hindi nag-deliver dahil hindi daw nagbayad ng DepEd. Maling-mali kasi ang kontrata, delivery before payment, wala pang delivery. Pero yung mga makakaliwa ang nagtanong at nag-raise ng issue na yon. Ang walang humpay na pagbabakbak kay VP Inday at ang walang humpay na pag-iinsulto sa dating Pangulong Duterte, alam naman natin kung saan nanggagaling. At hindi yan basta common knowledge, Googleable fact po yan. Sabi ni Jess Pot, Diyos ko, attorney, ang saya din ng mga ka-adikan dito. Ay! Ito sabi ni Cyril, dito sa bansa natin, puro pamumulitika, mampolitiko, kaya hanggat dito lang talaga ang Pinas, hindi naman lahat, pero karamihan. Ay nako, ito si Juris da Kupal, mabablock. Hindi totoo yan, fake news dyan. Mayroon po akong resignation letter at tinanggap po ito ng ating Pangulo at ang ganda pa nga ng acceptance niya sa your health comes first. So, kung hindi mo rin lang kaya makipag-usap dito ng maayos, good luck na lang sa'yo. Okay, Julius, I can see your comment but I cannot say that. Sabi ni John Ace, baka harangin lang si FPRD sa pag-privilege speech ni Speaker once na maging congressman siya. Baka patayan din lang ng mic. Pero sa tingin niyo, tignan niyo si Laila de Lima, hindi naman siya nawala ng forum. Kasi kongresista ka. Kung ordinaryong mamamayan ka, mahirap mag-explain kung bakit parati ka to-cover ng balita. Lalo-lalo na yung sa ginagawa nila sa dating Pangulo na naka-blackout siya sa traditional media. Napaka-bombastic na nga ng nasabi niya. Not the style pero yung mga sinabi. Pero hindi pa rin nako-cover ng trad media. Ngayon, mahihirapan sila i-blackout yan kapag sitting congressman siya. So, yung mga hirit ninyo about why it's not good for him to run for Congress, I have an answer for every single one. Yun talaga yung pangalan ninyo sabi ni The Real Sandro Marcos, yun yung name niya dito sa sa YouTube. Sabi niya, wala kasi silang mailink sa tunay na corruption issue kay VP Inday, kaya pura na lang paratang na walang kwenta. Thank you for supporting VP Inday. Keep it up. Opo. Sabi ni Richard F. Bautista, nagkaroon ng convergence of interests ang Kaliwa, Dilawan at si Romualdez. They all don't want a Sara presidency. Ang Kaliwa dahil mawawala sila, si Romualdez dahil mas winnable sila kapag Dilawan lang ang makakalaban. At ang Dilawan dahil mawawala sila sa politika kapag si Sara ang naging presidente. May point. Sabi ni Jonas, pag bumalik uli si PRD sa Congress, rockstar na naman siya, baka maging party leader or speaker of the house pa siya. May punto. Pero para sa akin, kahit hindi siya madyo, kahit hindi siya speaker, kahit hindi siya minority, Rodrigo Duterte na siya. And he can command attention. Pwede pa nga siyang magpilibustero sa Kongreso eh. Sabi ni Jello, I feel like it's just a matter of time. I'm expecting a lot of smoke and mirror events to push Sara to formally claim the Uniteam breakup and then unleash the Tambaloslos campaign for presidency. Well, she did say, last Christmas, I gave you my heart. Diba? Diba? But the very next day, diba? Ewan ko kung nakita ninyo yung TikTok ni VP Inday. Mayroon na po, by the way, na official TikTok account ang Vice President. And today, she said, this year, to save me from tears, alam niyo na yung susunod. Sabi ni Roy Dross, sabi ni James, nakaka-excite yung recent TikTok ni VP Sara. O, di ba? Di ba? Plus, ang ganda-ganda niya, di ba? Hindi naman yun. Hindi, syempre, it doesn't hurt na ang ganda-ganda ni VP Inday dun sa kanyang TikTok. Sabi ni Roy Dross, I heard that PDM is trying to play nice with the US. Anong trying? Already. Para ma-unfreeze yung assets nila. Hindi ko po alam. I have no personal knowledge of that. But it would make sense. Kumbaga, it's logical assumption, but it remains an assumption. Kaso the Americans are asking for PRD's head. Your thoughts? I'm not sure about that. Okay, I have no personal knowledge or evidence other than we can consider that this is a logical presumption given the circumstances. Am I running for senator? Tinatanong ni Chinitas 46. Alam nyo, pang ilan ka nang nagtanong yan? No. I have no reason to do that right now. I'm not saying I'm not. May ganon. No, I'm not po. I am saying I'm not. Sabi ni John Ace Moran, naku, kawawa pala si Sandro pag naging congressman din si FPRD, magkasama na sila sa Congress. But remember nung sinabi ni Kong Sandro, yung ano ba yun? Ano yung binanggit niya about FPRD? Meron siyang nasabi without mentioning the name. Something about yung was rude towards a fellow congressman, di ba? Na merong threat to a fellow congressman. Tapos kinukulit siya ni Congressman Lagman to name names, banggitin niya sino ba yung tao na yon when everybody already knew who he was talking about. According to Congressman Sandro, nakiusap pa siya dun kay Congressman Lagman na wag na siyang pilitin kasi ang tingin niya kay former President Duterte ay kaibigan as of that time, di ba? However, we can no longer make the presumption na they're being nice to the former president kasi yun na nga may nakikita silang mga moves against them, pero hindi sila kumukomento about that. Maliban lang dun sa sinasabi ni Pangulo na nire-reconsider niya yung stand tungkol sa ICC. Sabi ni Pinoy Down Under, bakit po kaya yung mga congressman hindi pinatawag si PRD sa Congress hearing nila? Gaya ni Naka Eric, may takot pa din siguro sila kay FPRD. Yes, and actually the whole thing could go the wrong way. You don't invite somebody who's more popular than you. Sabi ni Ma'am Nenet, hindi ako naniwala nag-pressure ni Kong Lagman si Kong Sandro. Well, it wasn't pressure in the sense na natakot si Kong Sandro. He just didn't want to be put in an awkward position. Have I seen the video of Harry Roque? Which one po? And what do you want to comment on? Ito. Sabi ni Cesar, anong masasabi niyo sa pahayag ni Harry Roque na nagsumbong daw yung mga retired generals kay PBBM na kinausap ni FPRD about? Okay, wait. That's not the story that I heard. I have my own sources. And even if I have sources, kung napapansin niyo, hindi ako naglalabas ng ganyang balita kasi kakailanganin mong isubstantiate yan. However, since this is to clarify, okay, from my own sources, the story goes this way. I'm not saying it's true or not, ha? Ulitin ko. Not saying it's true or not, but this is how the story went. The one that I heard from my own sources. Okay? And huwag niyo sasabihin na wala akong sources sa military. Tigil-tigilan niyo ako, ha? Okay. Some officers went to see the former president. May mga hinaing sila at meron silang mga guarantees of support. And that's it. However, merong mga ilan doon na hindi satisfied sa sagot ng dating Pangulo. He did not commit. Okay? So, nagsumbong kay PBBM. That's the story that I heard. Okay? Linawin ko lang. It's possible that it is Fox Harry's sources that are more reliable. It is possible that they are mine. I'm not casting any doubt on what former Fox Harry said. Magkaibigan naman kami niyan. But I'm just telling you the story that I heard. Which for me kasi makes more sense because we know that former President Duterte, being a lawyer and former prosecutor, understands the danger that such a conversation could lead to. Grabe ka naman mag-presume. Baka kunwari lang yung impeachment plan o chismis na. No, hindi po. Actually, yun nga eh. Sinabi ni, mas likely pa nga na nagkamali si Kong Franz Castro na sabihin yon so early. Kasi, that's not how it happened. Para kunwari, pigilan sila ni PBBM. Bakit sila mismo yung umatras? Si Kong Franz suddenly said na, pinag-uusapan lang naman. Hindi, serious usapan pa lang naman. Wala naman talaga pang, definite plans or something like that. Nag-backtrack po siya. So, it doesn't make sense na meron pang ganyan na scenario. And no, I don't think that they're the type to create that kind of scenario. No, Ma'am Cynthia, I'm not saying parang chismis lang yung kay Attorney Harry. I'm just saying that the story that I heard differs a little from the story that he heard. Sabi ni Ma'am Ninette Coluso, yung mga retired generals na nagsumbong kay PBBM ay nagplano si PRD na FPRD ng coup ay nagpapasip-sip lang yon. I think that also makes sense. Sino bang nagsasabing magsi-Senate President si Romualdez? Sino nagsasabing gano'n? No, I don't think he's running for Senate. Si Speaker? No, I don't think he's even considering that. He did run before and he didn't make it. Sinabi din naman ni Attorney Roque, sabi ni Bayali, na oo, nakakausap na ni PRD ang mga dating Army, AFP po. Pero hindi dahil sa coup d'etat o impeachment. Salamat, Attorney, at lagi kayo andyan para magpaliwanag. Opo, tama din po yan. At, Attorney Harry Roque, former spokes, is also very careful with his words. So, wag po natin masyadong kumbaga i-interpret yung sinabi niya. And yes, that's true. Marami naman pong nakakausap ang dating Pangulo, lalong-lalo na yung mga retirado na. So, anybody can weave a story out of that. Yun nga lang, bakit gustong-gusto nilang kausapin ng dating Pangulo? Tinatanong ni Miss Jean, totoo ba yung polvoron issue? Medyo doubtful kasi si Maharlika kasi di niya sinasamahan ng ebidensya. Well, to be fair with Binibining Maharlika, a lot of the things that she has said have come to pass. Kumbaga, she does have excellent sources. Pero dito sa polvoron, since that's an imputation of a crime, an actual crime, then I think we should just wait and see. Kasi although she mentions it, she mentions that there are certain things that will be coming out soon. So, hintayin na lang po natin yon, di ba? She's certainly very, very entertaining and quite credible in the sense na yung mga nababalitaan niya come from really, from sources that well, they come through. Sabi ni Architect J, bali yung mga AFP pa lang nakikipag-usap kay Tatay D. Retired po. I don't want to accuse any active service military personnel of engaging in partisan political activity because court-martialable offense yan. And yeah, dun sa mga nagdududa, I did handle courts-martial at wala akong talo dun. So, yes, nakikipag-usap. Alam nyo, the thing with the former president is he does talk to a lot of people. What if that meeting with PRD is also just bait, just so they can tell BBM na nagpa-plan ng kusin? Well, it's possible, but improbable. Kasi yung ganyang klaseng lie can be, it can be caught. So para sa akin, it's more likely that they're exaggerating rather than actually lying. Sabi ni Erin Jade, kinakausap ng mga retired AFP si PRD kasi alam naman nila na totoo yung malasakit ni FPRD. Sabi ni Jang, for all I know, FPRD is probably the one trying to stop or explain or request from our military personnel para di magkagulo ng tuluyan ng Pilipinas. Well, yes, they look up to him. So whatever his advice is, it's very valuable, at least to these people, kasi they take the time to go and talk to him. Espionage yung pag-active sa hindi po. Engaging in partisan political activity. They're supposed to be neutral. So, hindi po. Ang espionage ay yun yung pagka nagbibigay ka ng sikreto ng bayan dun sa ibang bansa, usually. Sabi ni Ma'am Cynthia, for me, yung mga lumalabas sa bungangan ni Maharlika ay puro fake news kasi puro walang ebidensya. Buti ka pa, pag hindi ka panipaniwala, kiniklear. Opo, well, like I said, to be fair, marami siyang sources. Although tayo, marami rin tayong naririnig, parang mahirap naman maglabas ng istorya. Gayon pa man, I find her extremely entertaining. Talagang she knows how to hold an audience. Sabi ni Sir Jonas, but remember, malalim ang brotherhood ng mga mista at they value seniority. Parang di ko alam yun. Yes, I remember that. I do. But, ganito yun eh. I don't want to think that they would put themselves in that kind of danger na hindi pa sure. Alam niyo yan? Na they obey they obey the chain of command. Kumbaga, unless papasok yung constitution. Okay. So ang sabi ng sa ating saligang batas, the AFP, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, is the protector of the people and of the state. Okay. The AFP is the protector of the people and of the state. Sana hindi kayo magsawa, kakasabi ko na yan. So, what does it mean kapag ang AFP ay protector of the people and of the state? Ang mga elements of a state, diba? People, territory, sovereignty, capability to form international relations with other countries. So yun. So may people na. So bakit dun sa provision ng saligang batas, the people and of the state? Kung may people na doon sa state. Ibig sabihin, minsan po, ang kalaban ay ang estado. at trabaho o obligasyon ng ating armed forces ang protektahan ang taong bayan sa lahat ng pagkakataon, even if it means na ang Estado mismo ang naglalagay sa peligro ng taong bayan. So yun. So kung kunwari, the government endangers the people, AFP po ang gigitna dyan. Kakaiba yung provision na yan sa ating saligang batas. Pero yan po ang kumikilala dun sa 1986 revolution. Kinikilala nila na umalsa muna o umandar muna ang AFP. At ang basis daw nilang pag-alsa doon at ay para gumitna between the state and the people, state powers and the people. Ito ay nilagay para ma-justify yon. Kasi otherwise, under the new republic at the time, anong mangyayari? Maku-court martial lahat sila. So in order to justify that, nilagay yung provision na yon. The AFP is the protector of the people and of the state. So ibig sabihin, hindi lang sa 1986, pero in subsequent events, if it ever should happen again, na ang Estado ang kalaban ng taong bayan, the AFP is the protector of the people and of the state. Sabi ni Coke plus your name, grabe. Sabi ni Coke plus tax evader, why are you so calm po ba, especially when you've been part of the press of the president? Share some tips. Calm ba ako? Minsan kasi may nagtataray ako, but not when I'm working. So, nung nasa gabinete pa po ako, yung action ko po ay reflection ng aking Pangulo at ng kanyang gobyerno. Kaya hindi pwedeng, di ba? Hindi pwedeng basta-basta yung salita at hindi rin pwede yung nagagalit ka during the time na you're addressing the media. Kasi trabaho mo yan. Kung ikaw nagka-crack under pressure o napipikon, hindi naaayon yung trabaho na yun sa inyo. Dito naman, may times talaga, hindi nyo lang po siguro nakikita, may mga panahon talaga na medyo nakakapikon yung ibang mga sinasabi, pero sinasagot pa rin namin. Minsan, nagtataray din kami. Yun nga lang, we still try to be as respectful pa rin, even of different opinions. I say try because sometimes I still fail also. Okay, ako suggestion ko lang para dun sa mga nakikita kong mga komento dito, wag natin i-presume kung ano ang iniisip ng dating Pangulo. Kasi, ang dami dito, hindi gusto niya to, hindi ayaw niya to, hindi ganito yan. I think that dapat evidence-based din po ang ating presumptions about the former president. Also, I don't think it will help his cause kung sasabihin natin, hindi, okay lang, tingin ko, napupuno na siya or whatever. Or even saying that he wants this, he prefers this or that. I think he's the type of person who can pull a lot of surprises. Sabi ni Jonas, ano po kaya ang iniisip ni PBBM ngayon? Sa tingin niyo po ba maglalabas ba siya ng official statement regarding sa issues lalo na kay VP Inday? No, I don't think he will issue a statement. Kung titignan niyo po ang style ng ating Pangulo, there are many things that he does not address. Yung tahimik lang siya about certain things, even if nananawagan na ang mga tao ng komento galing sa kanya. So, James, I will answer your question. Tapusin ko lang to because it's a good question. He avoids confrontation as much as possible. That could be good, that's sometimes bad, but he avoids it. So halimbawa, maliwanag naman po na there is friction coming from Congress, and who is the head of Congress? The House Speaker. So, pero hindi mo makikita na nagkukomento ng kontrobersyal ang ating Pangulo tungkol kay Speaker Romualdez. Marami siyang puri, marami siyang statement na suportado niya si House Speaker. Pero yung magkukomento siya ng controversial na masasama si House Speaker, hindi niya po gagawin yon. Bukod pa dito, gusto nila maliwanag na ina-avoid niya yung issue tungkol kay VP Inday. Pero may mga statements siya na dudulas din siya. not naman dulas, but he says na, imbis na sabihin, nung tinanong siya tungkol dun sa confidential funds ni VP Inday, ang sinabi lang niya is, tapos na yan, it's no longer an issue. Parang ganon. Sinakyan lang niya yung statement ni VP Inday. However, mas mahalaga sana kung nagsalita siya nung time na binabakpakan si VP sa Senado at saka sa Kongreso. Nung siya po ay tinatapunan parate o hinahagisan ng mga katanungan na alam na paulit-ulit at maliwanag naman na ang sagot. Halimbawa, saan mo ginastos and so on, yung pera tungkol dun sa pera na dati mong CF na tinransfer ng Office of the President. Okay. Hindi rin nagsalita ang ating Pangulo tungkol dun sa transfer of funds na ginawa niya tungkol dun sa noong 2022 nang galing ng pondo dun sa Office of the President at dumaan pa sa Department of Budget and Management. Pero pagka may mga humihirit na paano ginastos ang pera na yon, hindi kumikibo ang ating Pangulo. Samantalang naman nanggaling yung pondo sa kanya at kung sakasakali ang may liquidation yan, initial liquidation lang po dun sa executing agency which is the DepEd, but in the end that accounting is done in the final analysis by the Office of the President kasi pondo nila yun. Ni-release lang to the Office of the Vice President. This was an opportunity for the President na magsalita at maliwanagan ang lahat tungkol dito kung siya po ay tunay nagmamalasakit sa ating Vice Presidente. Konting isa o dalawang sentence lang tungkol dito ay maliliwanagan na. He could have said something like that and it would have called off the dogs, kumbaga. And he did not do that. So marami po siyang hindi sinasabi. So nagdududa kung maglalabas siya ng official statement tungkol sa issues nila ni VP Inday. Well, unless public pressure is too much. Sabi ni James, do personal political views or opinions of our military affect their duties? It should not. Okay? They are called on to obey the chain of command. And that is part of military discipline. Kapag nag-breach sila ng military discipline, ang mangyayari dyan ay, well, what happens is that they can be held accountable for that. Meaning, kailangan managot sila. So, posibleng imbestigahan sila ng provo-marshal at i-court-martial sila. So, yung mga ganyan, that's very, they need to be really, really careful. However, like I said, may provision sa ating saligang batas na maaari silang gumitna between the government and the people. Okay, sabi ni KGBP, yung issues ng Marcos admin towards the Dutertes or connecting the Dutertes like treason or coup, parang gusto ng admin mag-declare ng martial law. Well, definitely wala pong treason dito kasi ang treason po ay nangyayari lang kapag may giyera. Yan po yung nakalagay sa revised penal code. Ako, I don't agree with that, but that's the law. Coup, well, parang gusto nila mag-declare ng martial law. Well, ano yung mga grounds for declaring martial law? Insurrection, lawless violence, things like rampant criminality, times of invasion. Tama pa ba yun? Gosh, I forgot. Wait lang. Yun, tama yun. Suppress lawless violence, invasion, or rebellion. So, hindi siya pasok. Maybe. Posible. I think it's a logical statement. Sabi ni Tamsak TV, solusyon ng pagunlad ng bansa, baguhin sa ligang batas, bawasan sangay ng gobyerno, President, Vice President, Chief Justice, Gobyerno, Mayor, Philippines, dapat matira mabawasan ng pasahulin. Yeah, I get that. However, you don't have to change the Constitution to make the bureaucracy smaller. Kasi nga, hindi na nga natin pinagkakatiwalaan yung mga nakaupo sa Kongreso, gusto nyo pang magbago ng saligang batas, sila gagawa nun. Ay, sabi ni Joseph, tingin ko meron talagang lihim na agenda si PBBM para kay VP Sara, malinaw po ni hindi man lang siya nagkomento patungkol sa CF na ibinigay niya kay VP Sara. Totoo nga. Sabi ni Coke plus tax evader, can I just call you Coke? May safeguards naman to prevent martial law. Safeguards to prevent martial law? Of course not. Well, what it prevents, the safeguards are to prevent its extension. It's unreasonable extension. So the president can declare martial law, but he has to justify to Congress yung grounds. Pero madideclare mo na yan. Kapag hindi niya ma-justify, hindi yan ma-extend. Pero pag na-justify niya, pwedeng umabot ng 60 days, pwede pang ma-extend later on ng Kongreso. Actually, sabi ni Red Wolf, pwede ba People's Initiative / manifest to oust our leaders? Actually, merong paraan through People's Initiative. Ang kailangan natin gawin is amyendahan ang saligang batas o ang mga batas para pwedeng i-recall election yung mga senador at kongresista at babaan yung mga standards for that. Kasi sa ngayon, ang taas ng requirement, something like 10%, number of votes, etc. Medyo madugo. So para sa akin, kailangan nga bawasan yung mas malawak, yung standards should admit of less number of votes, pero bigger opportunity to explain at saka ma-recall yung congressmen and senators. Kasi sa ngayon, ang recall election nangyayari lang sa local government officials. Sabi ni Cyrus, pwede bang mag-petition sa Korte Suprema ang 30-day suspension ng SMNI? Pwede po, kung mamadaliin nila at kumuha sila ng temporary mandatory restraining order. Pero I think ang tinitignan natin dito is SMNI will just finish the suspension kasi sayang din mag-file ka ng petition and for what, di ba? Baka by the time matapos ang petition mo, tapos na din yung 30 days. So, if ever they will question yung sa NTC, yung nagpataw kaagad ng suspension, hindi pa sila nabigyan ng pagkakataon na mag-explain. Posible rin i-question yung preventive suspension na ipinataw ng MTRCB. Pero yun. So, yung 30-day suspension, yun, ang NTC, ang ki-questionin nila is yung power nila to do that. So, tapos, with prayer for temporary restraining order. Kung hindi mabigay yung TRO, papataw pa rin yung 30-day suspension, pero questionin yung power ng NTC to do that para hindi na po siya maulit. Sabi ni Aguason, just an observation, during the first year presidency, in the past admin, ang mga issues were about policy matters, ngayon daw family matters. Witty. Sabi ni online assistant, ang laki ng tulong, tama ba? Ang laki ng tulong ng SMNI noong kampanya upang malaman ng taong bayan ng plataforma ni BBM. I agree. Actually, hindi nga humihingi ang SMNI ng extraordinary powers or bigyan sila ng special privileges or bigyan sila ng mas pansinin sila or even anything like that. They're only asking that their rights be respected. At ang pangunahing karapatan dyan ay yung karapatan nilang magpahayag. Protektado ng saligang batas yan. Pero ang nangyayari, dahil ang nakikita natin, ang pagpataw ng mga ganitong penalties ng kulang ng due process, ay na-oppress sila. So yun po ang how do you call this? Yun lang ang hinihingi na protektahan ang mga karapatan na ginagarantiya naman ng saligang batas. With no malice involved, how does an impeachment of the president happen? How does an impeachment of any impeachable officer happen? It can be filed by complaint of a private party which a congressman must sponsor or take up. If a congressman does not take up, it can be reviewed by the Committee on Justice anyway, pero subject to a congressman taking it up. If a congressman has taken it up, he forwards it with his sponsorship to the Justice Committee for evaluation and then presentation to the plenary. The plenary can decide if there is sufficient basis to go forward with it. There will be debates on the on if there is sufficient, if the complaint first is sufficient in form and substance sa committee yan, and then titignan ng plenaryo yan kung ito ay nararapat for impeachment. So, if there is probable cause finding in the Congress, then you are impeached. Impeachment kasi happens in Congress. Trial happens in the Senate. So in the Senate, there will be a trial if it goes through Congress. Sabi ni Rush, si Senator Amy wala sa first family picture, the traditional Christmas picture. Sana hindi na lang nilabas kasi it just creates suspicion kung anong nangyayari between Senator Amy and the rest of the first family members. Na obvious kasi it was the extended family. Yeah, the former First Lady, si Mrs. Imelda was there. Miss Irene was there with her husband. Some of the kids, I think Governor Matthew was there. Matthew Manotoc was there. And of course, the first family. So kumbaga, nahalata lang kasi andun yung andun si Miss Irene, andun si former First Lady. So nahalata yung absence ni Senator Amy. If the family picture was limited to the immediate family, hindi po mahahalata. So para sa akin, I think it's, well, probably intentional. Pwede ba raw co-warranto proceeding against NTC to lift the suspension order? Bakit co-warranto? Does it violate? Bakit co-warranto? Kasi ang co-warranto is by what order do you hold office? Mga ganun. So by what, yun nga. So bakit co-warranto? Pwedeng certiorari, petition for certiorari, grave abuse of discretion with prayer for temporary restraining order. Sabi ni Pepito Millan, limited po ba access ni Senator Amy sa Malacanang at may conflict sila ni First Lady? I don't know about the well, yes, there are very strong suspicions that all is not well between Senator Amy and the First Lady. But I can confirm that she's rarely in Malacanang. Rarely talaga. So, you can conclude whatever you can with that. Yes, well, ang impeachment kasi, okay, there are two stages in impeachment. Isa yung sa Kongreso, isa yung sa Senado. Ngayon, ang strict definition kasi ng impeachment ay yung nangyayari sa Kongreso. So, posibleng ma-impeach ka, pero hindi ka matanggal dahil dun sa trial ay ma-acquit ka. So yes, the Congress will vote for an impeachment and the trial is held in the Senate. Pero if you want to, because everybody thinks it's all one thing lang naman, it's impeachment. So first the Congress will vote and then the Senate will. But after a trial yung sa Senate. Meron ding sort of a trial, mas mababa yung evidentiary requirement dun sa Kongreso. Sabi ni Romeo, mahirapan sila sa impeachment sa Senate part. Well, there are ways. Alam nyo, yung impeachment ni Chief Justice Corona, tingin ko hindi dapat siya talaga na-impeach nun. But it was a numbers game. What you're saying is that it's a numbers game in the Senate at most likely masyado maraming kakampi si VP Inday dyan. Well, I hope so, but I'm not counting on it. Remember, yung pasabog ni Senator Jinggoy tungkol dun sa impeachment trial ni Justice Corona? He claimed that both members of Congress and members of the House of Representatives and members of the Senate received compensation for their vote dun sa impeachment. So I'm not discounting that it was a possibility then. It could still remain a possibility this time around. I don't want to be nega, but we have to look at this with clear eyes. Naintindihan ko po yung sinasabi niyo. Sabi ni Sarah Cabornay, hindi Duterte, dapat si France ang i-impeach, si Congresswoman France. Unfortunately po, hindi po impeachable official ang congressmen at saka senators. Sabi ni Doc TJ, kamusta po si Sec Remulla, nasa St. Luke's daw po. Alam nyo, well, it's true that he has not been seen publicly. I think that we have to wait. Pagdating po kasi sa health information, that's really a private matter. Ang saligang batas natin only talks about the public interest sa health ng presidente. Well, gayon pa man, binabayaran ng taxpayers' money ang sweldo ng isang miyembro ng gabinete, kung kaya't dapat mayroong marinig tayo na statement man lang tungkol sa mga kadahilanan kung bakit hindi nakikita si Sec Boying. Sabi ni Facebook user, bakit kaya si VP Inday does not say anything bad about the president? It's awkward. Why would she do that? Unang-una, decente siya. Decent person. She, ganito yun eh. Nag-commit siya sa unit team. And she's not the type of person who would break her word unless talagang pushed to the limits. And right now, I think as long as she's not saying anything, all is still well. It's not good, but it is not completely broken yet. So maybe she'll speak at a later time. But when she does, I really doubt if she will be mean, kumbaga, to the president. Last few, sabi ni Wilbert, anong nangyayari sa mga plano ni PBBM? I don't know. Well, it doesn't look like mabilis na nai-implement siya, if nai-implement at all. Halimbawa, maraming setback sa agrikultura, hindi naaayos yung logistics system na sanhi talaga ng pagtataas ng presyo ng nagkakakartel. Cartel dun sa sa logistics, kumbaga dun sa middlemen, nagkakaroon ng cartel. At hindi ako ang nagsasabi niya na kay Senator Amy na parating nakatutok dun sa issue ng bigas at ng ibang pagkain. So I don't know if he's being okay. Kumbaga, if the plans are pushing through. Thank you kay Paul Verizer, Government of the People, by the People, for the People. Sabi niya, #Duterte, #PMA, #Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Nice. Sabi ni Segundo, pag nakapagpakita na sa lansangan ng mga tao withdrawal of support na sa gobyerno ang men in uniform, tapos rev na. Maybe. Alam nyo, I like due process. Buti na lang, kinikilala ng ating saligang batas yung proseso din ng pagpapalit ng liderato through that kind of means. Kasi nangyari na dati, pero syempre mas gusto natin yung peaceful na transitions. So, so maraming usapan tungkol dun sa mga ganyan, ang mahalaga, ito, regardless of how this is going to, how change is going to be affected. Kasi ang tingin ko dyan, may magbabago. Hindi lang natin sure kung ano yung extent ng pagbabago at anong klaseng pagbabago yon. So, pero meron. At kung gusto natin, magiging maganda yung pagbabago na yon. Basta hindi tayo titigil sa pag-call out ng mga mali ng ating gobyerno. Karapatan naman natin yan eh. Karapatan natin magsalita at magpahayag. Karapatan natin na mag-insist on higher standards for our government officials. Hindi lang po sa kanilang pakikipagtungo sa publiko. That was atrocious yung pinakita ng Kongreso dun sa kay Eric at kay Doc Lorraine. Atrocious, wala talaga. Nakakagalit up to now the way I remember it. Hindi lang po dun sa pakikitungo nila, kundi sa pag-a-account nila ng pondo ng publiko sa standards na ini-impose nila sa ibang mga opisyal. Halimbawa, sinong magaling sa Kongreso ang nakaisip na questionin at mag-insist sa transparency, sa confidential funds na maliwanag naman ako walang ang makakatingin yan, magpipilit sila alamin for transparency kung paano ginastos ang confidential funds, which by its very nature are confidential. Samantalang sila, doon sa mga pondo na hindi naman confidential, ay nag-i-insist silang itago. So, yun yung kumbaga, may karapatan tayong tanungin yan. May karapatan tayo mag-insist na sagutin naman nila, i-acknowledge nila yung hinanaing ng taong bayan na magpaliwanag ang ating gobyerno at ang mga opisyalis natin on matters that hit us very close. Halimbawa, ganun ba kadali kumuha ng pondo, magdagdag ng pondo sa sa BICAM na hindi natin nakikita kung saan igagastos? Ganun ba kadali na bigyan ng isang malaking batch ng pera ang DBM na parang emergency funds, yung unprogrammed funds? Alam niyo yung unprogrammed, di ba? Ang unprogrammed funds, hindi yan nakalaan for any particular thing. Pero pag kinulang ang pondo ng gobyerno, dun kukuha, DBM magre-release, provided na may item dun sa budget. Or may bagong batas at kailangan i-implement immediately. Pero tama ba yun? Hindi natin nakita ang justification. Teka, bakit 500 million or how many billion ang unprogrammed funds? At nakikita ba natin kung kailan nila ginagamit yun? Ano ang liquidation yan? Paano ina-account yan sa taong bayan? Kailangan sagutin naman ng Kongreso. Hindi yung pag binubuksan natin ang website ng COA, ang dami-daming report tungkol sa ehekutibo, sa executive, pero pagdating sa legislature, ay nga, anong nakikita natin? So yun po ang kailangan natin gawin in order to effect change. Huwag natin tigilan. Huwag tayong manahimik. Huwag tayong titigil na kapag may nakikita tayong mali o nadadagdagan, then magsasalita tayo, mag-post, mag-participate sa mga ganitong klaseng diskusyon. Yun. Makilahok dun sa makigulo tayo sa mga walls natin. At tignan natin, ano pa ba ang hindi nila sinasabi sa atin? So ang punto natin dito is, this is not going to get better anytime soon, lalong-lalo na kung titigil tayo sa kakapilit sa ating gobyerno, kakadulog o kakahingi ng pagbabago sa ating gobyerno. Kailangan mag-insist tayo. So yun ang inaano natin. Continue itong pakita natin. Alam mo, nakakaasar na kayo. Alam niyo, hindi na maganda itong pinapakikitungo niyo sa amin. Ang dami ninyong pinangako nung tumatakbo kayo. Ngayon, andyan na kayo. Sagutin niyo naman yung mga persistent rumors tungkol sa korupsyon. Kahit man lang para mapalagay ang loob namin. Kahit man lang yung i-lip service nyo man lang kami na hindi nangyayari yan. Hindi totoo yung mga rumors na ganito. Government should interact with its people, with the people, para mas naririnig nila kung ano yung gusto natin. Hindi yung gawa kayo ng alleged solution na hindi naman nakakatulong. Halimbawa, puro kayo press release, puro kayo market visit, puro kayo ayuda, puro kayo kung anik-anik na lang na dahilan para lang ma-explain kung bakit wala kayong ginagawa. Yes, yun po ang nararamdaman. Wala kayong ginagawa. So, wag nating pigilan. Suportahan natin yung mga katulad ni SAS na may basihan yung kanilang hinanaing. Bakit hindi nyo nililiquidate the way that the executive is required to liquidate? Bakit galit kayo? Bakit ang bilis-bilis ninyong makahingi ng suspensyon? Hindi naman pwedeng mag-order ang Kongreso sa isang executive agency at sabihin na, uy, suspindihin nyo naman to. Ito namang NTC, sumunod. So, don't stop. Alam ko Paskong Pasko at hindi sana tayo nega. Pero sa totoo lang, walang mangyayaring pagbabago kung titigil tayo. Kung mananahimik tayo. And yes, kung meron mang balita, let's say hindi substantiated, katulad ng lumalabas allegedly kay Madam Maharlika, abay pwede pa rin tayong magtanong. Masama bang magtanong na, totoo ba to? Diba? Ano ba yan? Diba? Tapos, ang Kongreso, uy, Wala ba sa inyong matatanggal? Pakabastos kayo sa sa ordinaryong mga mamamayan na hindi kayang sumagot. Kina-cut off ninyo, binabastos ninyo habang naghihiring. Yes, there's no other word to describe it. It was extremely rude. That's what bastos means, di ba? It was very rude. Pero may nakita ba tayo na kahit isa sa kanila na inamin na oo, medyo na-carried away kami, pasensya na, nakakapikon kasi. Wala man lang kahit isang kongresista na nagsabi ng ganon. And hello, the whole thing was about the Speaker's Travel Fund. Nagsalita ba si Speaker? Eh siya na nga dapat ang naririnig. So we deserve better. Diba? We deserve better than what we're getting. Ano ba, i-reseta ninyo? Ayuda na naman. Wala naman kayong institutionalized changes? Wala ba? Nagmamadali kayo dito sa jeepney privatization. Sure, I'm all for that. Gustong-gusto ko yung jeepney privatization. Jeepney, phase out. Sorry, privatization. Nagmamadali kayo dun sa jeepney phase out, pero hindi nyo naman binuhay o pinagpatuloy yung mga sa TESDA na kailangan, yung mga, or mandyan yung mga programa sa TESDA, pero sinasabihan nyo ba? Sinasabihan nyo ba yung mga jeepney driver na pwedeng kumuha kayo ng mga kurso dito para makahanap kayo ng ibang trabaho? Nasaan na yung pagtutulong dun sa paggagawa ng mga kooperatiba? Meron ba? Meron bang nakatutok o ini-expect ninyo na like magic? Meron ng biglang mga kooperatiba, anyari na. Diba? Tapos hello, bakit niya ipa-privatize ang NAIA? Kumikita yan ng 12 to 15 billion every year. Kahit ganyan-ganyan lang ang ang itsura niya, ang itsura ng na yon, ng airport na yon. So merong papatulan ba natin yung tol? Iba po yung salin kesa sa audit. Syunga-syunga, May nagsasabi, humihingi daw tayo ng audit pero di daw nagpakita ng salin si FPRD. If you don't know the difference, then you don't understand why that question is illogical. You don't compare apples with oranges. Don't be ridiculous. Sabi ni Arafat, and this is an excellent statement. Mas importante ang 500 billion ayuda kaysa 80 billion Mindanao Rail Project. Sabi ni Walter, pag ganito topic kahit magdamagan, TY po for the information. Pasensya na, Paskong Pasko, nagdadaing tayo. Ayoko lang kasing magkalimutan. Kasi peace on earth, goodwill to men tayo ngayong season na ito. Magti-tweakings pa, magno-New Year pa. In the mood to celebrate lang ng tao. Baka makalimutan natin, baka masyadong shocking na yung pagkatapos ng celebration. So ayan, reunion, happy tayo with our families and all that. Tapos pagbalik ng Enero, masya-shock na naman tayo na, oh my gosh, sa araw-araw na grocery natin o pamamalengke natin para tayong sinusuntok ng mga presyo. Diba? Sabi ni Peru, huwag po kayo mapapagod kaka-explain. Hindi po, sa inyo nga po ako kumukuha ng lakas. Kasi interesting kayo kausap sa totoo lang. So, huwag niyong iisipin na kayo yung nakakalamang dito. Hindi po. Nag-i-enjoy din po tayo dito because nakikita ko at saka nararamdaman ko na share natin yung burden, kumbaga, yung inis natin. Ito sabi ni Dave 1. Mga Congress, focus sa ICC, pati paano siraan si Inday, tapos sa West PH natin, tahimik sila. Alam mo, may punto ka dyan. May punto ka dyan. Oo nga, Sabi ni Als Alberto, feeling ng family namin, nabudol kami ni PBBM, nakakadismaya na po kasi yung ginagawa nila kay VP Inday. Put. Sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, 1,000 pesos nowadays is like 100 pesos na lang sa mahal ng bilihin. So, ulit huwag po tayong titigil ng kaka-insist, kumbaga. 'Di ba? Ginamit pa nila yung hinanaing natin na para sabihin na at naman kayong iupo si Inday, darling. Si Inday pwede na nga tumakbo ng presidente 2022, binigay lang niya sa manok ninyo. Sabi ni Her, ano po talaga ang nangyayari sa kanilang dalawa? Bakit hindi sila nag-uusap? Sabi ni Her sa TikTok. Ma'am, I think umiiral na po yung political differences dito. At saka hello, hindi, maliwanag naman na kongreso ang bumabakbak kay VP Inday. Hindi man lang kumikibo yung ka-unity. Di ba? Ito sabi ni Abrogs, ano po masasabi niyo sa TikTok po? Sa Maharlika Fund, until now wala pa ding resulta, meron bang nangyayari doon? Yun nga po yung nakakabahala. Kasi yung pondo ng Land Bank at saka DBP, na-sequester na po yun. So hindi na nakakapagbigay ng, yung kumbaga, lumiit na yung pondo ng Land Bank magbigay ng loans. At ang ibang loans dan ay agricultural loans para sa mga farmers natin, sa mga nasa agribusiness and all that, na wala na lumiit na ang pondo nila pero wala pa rin nangyayari dun sa Maharlika Fund. I think it was a bad idea to begin with. Bakit kailangan isang pondo? Bakit ganun ba? At bakit minadali? Minadali nila naman, minadali. Tapos, eto, ang tagal-tagal mamili ng mga taong tatao dun sa board niya. Ang tagal-tagal ma-set up ng buong sistema. Pero andyan na ang pera. Ano ba? So, tama po. Ito, sabi ni MGN, according to General Macanas, the military hit the main area of the supposed gathering for the NPA anniversary ay yung December. Hindi NPA. CPP anniversary. Kasi ang NPA March. Alam ko kasi ka-birthday ko. And some high-ranking cadres were there and might be neutralized or injured. Yes, they did have a major victory. And ang tingin ko dyan, bakit nga? It raises the question again. Bakit tayo uli nag-amnesty? Tuloy-tuloy naman ang military natin pagpupuksa sa kanila at mukhang patapos na po ang gyera. Ang hindi na lang nakukuha ay yung mga legit fronts nila. Pero of course, wala namang magagawa yung legit fronts kung yung mga illegit nila ay wala na rin nagagawa dahil nakakulong na. Sabi ni Ma'am Jennifer, kung nais ni PBBM o mga tayo agad, kailangan bang gain niya yung cartel and yung banking cartel? I agree completely on all counts, Madam. Sabi ni Ma'am Karen, pro-US ka, attorney, at pro-China at the same time kasi pumunta ka doon. Dapat daw sa Luzon ka lang. Tsaka. Paano yan? Kung pupunta ako ng Japan, pro-Japan ako. Bakit kasi anyway, sabi ni Ma'am Karen, kahit isang oras lang mahigit. Oh, Migs, makinig, Rowan ka dapat nang di sumasablay sa interview. Would Tambi allow a peaceful transition na ganito na ka-addict paninipsip ng dugo sa Pinoy, clinging to power and dictatorship? What made Inday not reach the limit yet? Alam nyo, the Dutertes are very good at poker. Okay? Yun na lang ang sabihin natin. They're very good at poker. Lalo na si former president, he don't know what he's thinking. Ang galing pa umiwas pag tinakausap mo siya, sir, ano bang gagawin sa ganito, ganito, ganito? Alam mo, tapos ulilihisin niya. Okay. Sir, di niyo sinagot yung tanong. Basta tawa-tawa na lang siya. Abogado ka kasi, kaya nakikita ko daw. But, I think that whatever it is that they will do, in case they take up the cudgels for rise to their leadership. Rise to question what's going on. Then I would leave that decision as to when, where, how, and why they're going to address these issues. So, would they stand with us when questioning the government? Would it be, di ba? It would be nice to hear from them, kumbaga. But I think I will leave the timing up to them. That's what I mean. Okay, disregard the previous sentences. But whatever it is, or whenever it is, I will leave the timing up to them. I wish we had time also for yung kwentuhan na hindi politika. Yung lang na, saan po kayo? Ay, ang ganda dyan. Yung mga ganyan. Minsan nga, magtsikahan lang tayo. Kasi kayo din po sa TikTok. Parang natutuwa ako dun sa ibang mga questions that I wish we had the time to answer. Kaya lang, personal siya, tsaka masyado na malayo dun sa topic natin. Ito, sabi ni Ian, if i-revoke ng lower house ang franchise ng SMNI, need pa ba ng Senate agreement? Hindi po, kasi the action is initiated in the House. So, wait, let me find out ha, hindi ako sure. Ang alam ko kasi, pag hindi ginrant ang franchise, wala nang aakyat sa Senado. Pero dito, tatanggalan nila ng franchise, it might, I'm not sure about Senate concurrence ha. I have to check. Can I get back to you on that? Pakitanong uli sa next live ha. Huwag niyong kakalimutan. Ask me again the next live. Aralin ko yan. Sabi niya, and finally, sabi ni Ma'am Shenya, bakit daw yung liquidation of funds ng executive at saka legislature ang magkaiba? Thanks, I can use this question. Magulang kasi ang Congress. Magulang kasi yung legislature, sa totoo lang. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. There's just one auditing system for the whole of government. But there are some exceptions to be made. Now, the Constitution kasi allows for discretionary funds. Ang discretionary funds, iba-iba po ang tawag dyan. Confidential funds, intelligence funds, extraordinary funds. All of these are discretionary. They don't necessarily go into a specific budgetary item. Para siyang petty cash. So, ang problema is dun sa legislature, ang daming ganun. Iba-iba yung pangalan. So, they justify it by saying, delikado yung work nila and a lot of it relies on secrecy and therefore hindi dapat yan ina-itemize. So, I think it's not a good reason, ha? I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm just telling you what the reason is. And it's not a good reason. There is no reason, this God's greener, why they should be different. They should be the same. Sabi ni Ma'am Maria, gawa daw ako ng... Sabi ni ng group chat, kasi ang dami natin. Hindi tayo magkaintindihan. Sabi ni Ron, okay lang, attorney, politics ang topic anyway. These are matters close to our hearts naman and affect our lives directly. Opo, pero once in a while masaya yung hindi di ba? Minsan-minsan naman kailangan i-educate ninyo ako sa showbiz. Talagang ang hina ako diyan. Parating delayed. Kung hindi ko sinusundan si Daryl Yap at saka si Senyora, wala na ako talaga maaabutan. Sabi ni Karen, Easter egg hunting lang daw kasi alam ni ano ba daw kasi yung poker, yung doggies na territorial, pero buti na lang yan din na naging English is the Malacanang scared with the alleged singhot. Well, that's the story that's making the rounds. Ako, naghahanda lang ako ng popcorn just in case may lumabas. Diba? So, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat sa subaybay ngayong araw na ito.